Hey everybody, this is Shelly, your mouthy mama at Talking Trash and Truths, and I want to make a video that's the other side of a video I made about a month ago regarding Amber Heard. That video was Amber Heard, why I don't believe Amber Heard and never will. This one's going to be about Johnny Depp, and it will be why I believe Johnny Depp and always will. This is not a fandom thing. This is not a super fan thing. This is not a Johnny Depp stans thing. This is a survivor and a former, victim and a woman who has experienced every kind of violence against her that she could, from childhood through adulthood. So this is all my opinion, my observations. But yeah, if you go back to the other video, I'll tell you why I didn't believe Amber Heard. I didn't believe her because it was obvious she was lying. She was confident, she was cocky, she was antagonistic, she was rude and mocking and very aggressive. None of the things that an abused person would ever be when they're recounting their experiences to people or be in the room with their abuser. She was defiant. She was, look at me, I'm so strong, I'm not afraid of you. She was literally poking the bear, trying desperately to get some type of attention from him. She was blatantly lying in front of him. She knew it. She was playing the whole, what it was, a pledge versus donate thing, right? That played out right in front of him. She was completely unapologetic about it. If he was her abuser and he gave her that money to be donated, and then she got caught out there not donating it, the reaction would not have been to double down on her lie and say, oh, well, Johnny sued me, when you know that those two things didn't happen in the same timeline. You had plenty of time to donate that money instead of just pledging it. And you're sitting there openly mocking him, saying, yeah, I said I was going to do it. I got all this clout for saying I was going to do it. And basically, F you, I didn't do it. What are you going to do about it? Because she's right in front of him. She's 20 feet away from him. Ha, 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 ha. Like, no. And you don't wonder if someone is using a broken bottle on you. You don't wonder if they're using a bottle on you at all, because it tears you up. It rips your tissues. Any kind of insertion of anything, even a natural object, even just rough sex, if you're not lubricated enough, you're going to tear. You are going to have damage. You're not going to be leaping through oceans and waves and doing photo shoots. You're not going to be, oh yeah, please, I'm just going to go upstairs and go to sleep. No, the things you did, there are things that are unbelievable in this world. And then there are things that are unbelievable. You were more unbelievable in the fact that none of it made any sense or even rang true in the slightest. And I know I say this stuff like I'm talking directly to Amber Heard, because I just want her to get it through her thick skull that nobody's ever going to believe you, because it was so obvious that you lied. And it was such a disservice to women who have been through it and men who have been through it that you just you made a mockery of other people's pain. And I think that's what aggravates me the most, because not only did you mock it, you continued to lie about it. You continued to live off the misery and the injustices done to other people. And you claimed it for your own when you had no right to it. You do not walk like someone who has ever been abused. You are very much in charge of your life, Amber Heard. You are very much in charge of your own destiny. No one pushes you around. I'm sure of that. Johnny Depp, though? Now, we've all seen his movies. I have the hiccups. You're just going to have to bear with me. But I get upset sometimes, and I get the hiccups. So, we're all familiar with his body of work. Everything from 21 Jump Street to Edward Scissorhands to Benny and June to Crybaby to Sleepy Hollow, Sweeney Todd, Nick of Time. What was that thing? From Hell, I think it was called, the Jack the Ripper one. Pirates of the Caribbean. Him as the Mad Hatter, which was my favorite. And Alice in Wonderland, and then this, like Willy Wonka. I don't think even like the hardcore stuff that he's been in, Donnie Brasco and Blow. I mean, he's been in comedies, he's been in slapstick, he's been in sketches, he's been in skits, he's been impromptu, he's been, on improv. Improv is pretty much what he does. He's like a king of improv. Which is, to me, probably one of the most difficult things to ever do, because it's one thing to think on your feet. It's another to think on your feet and deliver every fucking time. And he does every time. No matter what you ask him, artistically speaking, he delivers every single time. He's amazing. And I wasn't a huge fan before. Like, I didn't know how good he was at everything. Like, I enjoyed his movies, but it was like, all right, like that was it. Until like I started back in, I guess, 2020, when we went into the lockdown. That was when I decided, oh look, I found this guy, that umbrella guy. Okay, so let me just, I'll listen to him. And then it was about, like the UK case. And I started listening to him and started investigating on my own, reading things on my own, listening to audio clips. And I was like, oh, holy crap. Like, I had heard about it, but I didn't really care, because it was like, oh, these celebrities, whatever. They're like, they'll duke it out. And then I got involved because Tug, had compelling evidence. And I was like, holy crap, he's getting railroaded by this chick. So it was like, it was really disturbing to me listening to the audio, because we were kept a lot in the dark when he was going through the whole court case. And I think had we known a lot more, we would have spoken up a lot more and maybe had more of a presence over there than we did. I like to think that we would have done that. I wasn't really like, I came into it literally like 3 or 4 weeks before it was over in the UK. And everything was like just so spread out because of COVID. So it was just, oh, it was crazy. But I remember, watching, Tug's thing, and it just really upset me how he wasn't getting a chance to speak. Like, he couldn't present stuff, and she was just running with this narrative with no proof, and they had tons of proof to the contrary. So it was like, holy shit, what is going on? So I really did spend a lot of time like looking into that and watching old videos of not just Tugs, but like so many people that had like covered here and there, Colonel Kurtz and all that. The real Laura B, Andy, like all of them had little things here and there. Like Laura B really had a lot. Um, and I was following on several platforms, so I was trying to pick up whatever I could here and there until I was well versed in what was going on. And still, when we went to trial in Virginia, I went with an open mind going, okay, like, I really do think that she's railroading him, but now all the shit's going to come out. Like, you can't put the shit back in the horse. It's all coming out. It's going to be some huge horse enema, and holy crap. And that's exactly what we got. We got tons of information on him and almost no information on her. Everything about her is a goddamn secret. Why is all her past protected? But they want to know about his past. Did he do what he did with Ellen Barkin? Who gives a shit what he did with Ellen Barkin? God, that woman is disgusting. That's number one. For trying to get another 2 minutes of limelight. God, your career is over. Let it go. Like, just let it go. You got to screw with Antonio Banderas in that one thing. It was great. Move on. She was really hot, especially like in the Big Easy. Oh, God, I love that movie. But the fact that you tried to like railroad him just because he didn't want to screw you anymore, that's shallow. But they're going back, asking like all the way back to like the early 90s. Are you kidding? So everything in his entire life is up for grabs. But, asking her for like doctor records, that's asking too much. Pulling up her, like assault record of her, ex, that's too much. Oh, that could be prejudicial. Really? She took pictures of him passed out against, like without his consent and spread them around and then used them. She weaponized them. She weaponized memories and twisted them. She's not a good actress. She could not pull this off. Yes, he's a fantastic actor, but none of what I saw was disingenuous. I mean, he's a good actor, but there have been times where I watch him and go, I don't feel crap. Like, he can't. He just, I don't know. When he came into the courtroom, the way he was sitting, the way he hid behind his hair, you notice it took him a couple days to be able to pull his hair back. And you're not going to tell me that they didn't tell him from the get-go, put your hair in a ponytail because it looks better. He pays people to tell him what looks good. And I'm pretty sure he said, no, I want my hair down. Because he needed that. I've done that. Hair down until you're comfortable and confident enough to pull it back and go, okay, I can do this without breaking down. Until you've made yourself aware of every person's position in the room and that it's consistent, that you can rely on the fact that the same people will be in the same spot day after day. It's something you can rely on. Nobody's going to take you by surprise. You can relax a little. You can pull your hair back a little. You don't have to hide. You can do this. You just, you can't look this way. You can't look that way. And to like angle yourself. These are things that people who have been abused, they think about them. They think about how to position themselves in a room so that they're most comfortable. And these are things that they learn to do over time without even thinking about it. You automatically, you scan for threats, you find the optimal positioning, and you try like hell not to get yourself put in a position where you're going to be trapped if shit goes down. and you always expect shit to go sideways. She was entirely too confident and entirely too brazen and bold in that courtroom for her to be the abused. He, however, turtled the entire time that the court case went on. Not just one day, not just two, every damn day. Even on his best, winning, most confident days, he turtled. Now, what the hell is turtling? That's what I call being in the same vicinity as someone who you're afraid of someone who has hurt you, of someone you need to shield yourself from. So what you do, and you can all look back at all the court days, go day by day, you'll see it day by day, not just once, not just twice, for hours at a clip, he'll do it. Even when he's being confident, it's hunched forward, shoulders higher, hands in front, your legs pulled in, like they're pulled in tight. You're not sprawled. You're not like leaning back. You're forward. Your head is forward. It's down. And you're trying to make yourself smaller and smaller. You're protecting the soft bits. And what he did was he kept all the drawing. He always made sure he was down low. Now, I know that he has an issue with his eyesight, but it's not that big an issue that he has to have his eye an inch from the paper. No, he was bent over that desk, that table, a lot because he wanted to disassociate. He wanted to be small. He wanted to be behind the monitor where she can't see him. Stop looking at me. Like, he kept making himself a smaller and smaller target. Oh, look at me. I'm not here. I'm not here. So you don't have to look at me. I'm not a threat. Look at me. Look at me. See, I'm being good. I'm being quiet. I'm protecting myself. And that's what he did. And especially he did it on the stand. And he would try to diffuse things with a little humor, which, okay, it's court, so maybe humor, not appropriate. But he was also discussing some of the most vulnerable, uncomfortable moments of his life. And he knew everybody was going to dissect this and everybody was going to hear it. And he's fucking Johnny Depp, man. This is Johnny Depp sitting in front of millions of people, telling them on the internet, which is forever, that he was afraid of his mother, that his mother abused him, that his father took it rather than hit her back, that he had married a woman who was very much like his mother, who would hit him and belittle him, make him jump through hoops for a scrap of love and never really give it because he's never good enough. They both tortured him like that. And he's sitting in front of everybody saying, hey, yeah, I play a pirate, play a tough guy, play a mobster, play a, coke cartel dude. I'm funny, I'm sexy, I'm hilarious, I'm talented. I entertain you, I make you laugh. All those things. But I'm sitting here telling you the deepest secrets of my soul and showing you that I was hurt. And I've been hurt my whole life. And because I'm a man, people think it's okay. Because I'm a man, I'm supposed to be quiet and take it. And because I'm a man, she could take everything that she did to me, turn it around, and get sympathy for her by saying I did it. You believe it when somebody says I did it to her. But you find it hard to believe that she did it to me. That's basically what he was getting up there and saying. Like, y'all thought the worst of me. You were ready to, like, lynch me with no evidence. I bring you all this evidence, and you're like, no, Johnny. They saw. They saw. That's why I believe Johnny Depp, because I watched him. I watched him open up and say the things that shamed him. And he wears that shame. You could see it on him. You could see it in the sadness in his eyes. I know that shame. I know not being good enough. I know always being wrong. I know what he went through. I went through it, with my father. I went through it with my family growing up. I went through it with my first boyfriend. I went through it with my husband. I went through it with pretty much every guy that I've been with, and a couple girls. When you give all the time, it's easy for someone to take advantage of your generosity. And when you're giving because you just want people to be happy, because you don't want people to ever feel unwanted or unloved the way you always feel, that no audience will ever be able to fill up that void of not being loved for yourself as a kid. She doesn't have any signs of having ever been abused by anyone. Have bad things happen to her? Yeah, probably. And I bet she still benefited from them. She's that type. She turns everything to her benefit. It's disgusting and impressive, but disgusting. I believe Johnny because everything that he said, you could feel, you could see it. It unfolded naturally, organically. Everything was believable, no matter how hurtful it was for him to admit them. Talking about his drug use and his alcohol use. I'm sorry, he's Johnny goddamn Depp. Did anybody think he was an altar boy when he was coming up? I'm sorry, didn't he own a thing called the Viper Room? Yes, that's very saint-like. I can't. Like, nobody thought he was an altar boy. Nobody thought he was, even a good boy. It turns out he was a pretty good boy, but he had his moments. He had his wild side. But he was never, he was never what she accused him of. There are bad boys and then there are bad boys. And he was not the criminal type. He had a little bit of a rebellion in him. That was it. Hey, look at me. I'm Joe Cool. I wear a bandana on my head. Woohoo. Oh, look at me. I broke a guitar. Which, honestly, I can't ever see him doing. That's what most bad boys do. They break guitars. I can't see him ever doing that. Not on purpose. I could see him falling in a fucking guitar when he's drunk, maybe, but breaking one on purpose? No. Not even as a bit. Amber came across as disingenuous, and Johnny came across as extremely genuine. He came across sincere. He literally had me in tears for him so many times because I could feel like it was bringing up feelings of shame that I had had growing up, feelings of inadequacy, being in a relationship where no matter what you did, no matter how hard you tried, you're always wrong. Always wrong. And it's funny because I'm really, really intelligent. So for me to always be wrong, it dumbfounded me. So I know what he must have felt like, always being wrong. Having all your life's work brought down to you were on 21 Jump Street. Really? Yeah. He was a goddamn teen idol. She wasn't. Most of the movies she was in, I couldn't tell you she was in them. I've seen Magic Mike like 20 times. I never knew she was in it. She leaves no good impression at all. No lasting impression. Every time I watch a movie and they're like, oh yeah, Amber Heard was in that, I'm like, was she really? I've seen that movie like 5 times. Where was she? Like, I just can't believe it. And then I'll go back and look and go, oh shit, yeah, there she is. Wow, she can't act. Like, it's always the same. Even in Aquaman, I'm sorry. I know all you guys are like, she looks like she's the best looking Mira. You know what? She might look the most like Mira, but she's a horrible actress. When she does the wine thing, it was so overacted. And like the eating the rose, that was ridiculous. And the way she's always like trying to swing her dick around, that is natural Amber. That's the Amber. I have a penis and mine is bigger than yours. And that's how she comes off. She doesn't come off as somebody who's been violated multiple times, abused multiple times, been made to submit, to grovel, to hide multiple times. No, she's a spoiled brat who was surrounded by her freeloading friends and set her sights on one of the greatest and most prolific actors of the century. And she was going to get whatever she wanted. And he was going to pay. And she could ride the rest of her life being a no talent, riding his coattails or riding his, corpse to hell. Because that's where they were going. That's where they were headed. One of them was going to do serious harm to him. Either he was going to do it to himself or she was going to do it and make it look like that. My opinion. It's my opinion. Everything's my opinion, but I will never believe her and I will always believe him. Because he comes across as someone wounded, as someone who's constantly protecting what's always going to be healing. And she comes across as a predator with no soul and no heart. And that's my honest opinion. Now, if you like this video, you check out my other videos, my other podcasts. I talk about a whole lot of things. There's everything under the sun. If there's something in particular you want me to talk about, leave it in the comment section. Please do me the favor, hit like and subscribe. They're free. Share this if you can. And I will see you in the funny papers. Bye-bye.